Marginal rates of change. So we have some definitions. The cost function C of x is the total cost of producing x items. It's made up of both fixed and variable costs. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you start a business, you'll buy a computer, and that computer has been bought, whether you make 20 items or 2,000 items. So that's a fixed cost. And then variable costs, obviously if you produce more items, then it's going to cost you more for more materials and so on. So fixed and variable costs. The revenue function is the income received from selling the items. Now if you charge this price, that's just called price here, for an item and you sell X of them, then the income you get is X times the price. So that's just the price times the number of items sold. The profit function P of X is the amount of profit made from the sale of X items. So P of X is equal to R of X minus C of X. Note here that we've produced and sold X items. We haven't got extra items. It is C of X just here. The break-even point occurs when revenue equals cost. So C of X equals R of X, or from this equation here, that tells us that P of X is 0. So at break-even point, P of X is 0. Clearly looking back here, if R is bigger than C, we make a profit. If C is bigger than R, we make a loss. Now, marginal rates of change. The derivative of each cost, revenue or profit function is called the marginal function. It gives the instantaneous cost, revenue or profit, depending on which one we differentiated, when the x plus 1th unit is produced and sold and is represented by C-x, R-x and P-x. So note these are x and this is x plus 1. So it's the, for example, if we use the cost function, it would be the cost of producing the next item. It tells us the approximate change for producing one more unit, so the next item at that stage in production. And note this is approximate because we're using the tangent to the curve. If we're talking about the cost curve, we're using the tangent to the cost curve. So that would go off here, and there will be a small difference between that and the actual production. So one more unit, delta x is 1. So what we're doing here is a small change. Then it's important to note that the average cost or revenue or profit is the total cost, revenue or profit divided by the number of items. This regularly comes up in assessments.